Hey, hi, hello, hello. We are reading the new chapter of Boku no Hero Academia. I think I have the page thing fixed. I really hope so. It's so finicky. I don't understand why it works sometimes and then why it stops working. And then I do a whole bunch of stuff and it doesn't really make any difference. And then suddenly it just starts working. So we're going to hope that it works the whole time. My apologies if it doesn't. I'll try to make it clear where I'm changing pages if that's the case. But this is chapter 280. It's called Red Riot, of course, referring to our calcifying boy, who's good buddies with Acid Girl here. Yes, these are their real names. I remember them. It's still, what the fuck? How is it still on page 1? It was just working. I tried it like right before I started the video, and it was working. Okay, now it says page 2. It still says page 2. Oh my god, I'm it's really frustrating because I don't understand whatsoever what makes it work or not work. I'm losing it. Okay, this used to be like the easiest thing. It doesn't make any sense because other browser sources I've used, other window captures, there's no problem whatsoever. I don't get it. I don't get it. Alright, well, whatever. Okay, we're going on to page 3, which is a spread? Question mark? No, it just looks like it could be. Really nice shot of this forest fire here. Of course, this is Dabi's doing, trying to block them off from attacking the downed Gigantomachia. Basically everybody just nuking each other. Kaminari let off a gigantic lightning blast too. But the fire did nothing for our alien queen, who enshrouded herself in acid and jumped through with the sleeping potion in a little bubble of air. All right, we're going on to page 4. The fuck? Come on, why won't you work? This is so frustrating. Okay. It just... Ooh. Ooh, it's so annoying. Please. Okay, well, I'll try some more things after this video. But, here we go. She's using this Acid Man armor. The fire means nothing to her. Running up to the open jaws of Gigantomachia like it's Attack on Titan, we can see Mountain Lady's hands prying it open. I really like this perspective shot. I've been talking about this a lot in the Attack on Titan videos too, that when you have something truly huge, the only way that you can really get across its colossal scale isn't just through like one type of perspective shots, but building up kind of like a visual library of seeing it from all different vantage points and angles, all different relative sizes compared to other things. That eventually you begin to have a realization of it, that you can actually start fitting it into the real world yourself. And that's when you can truly appreciate the size of it. So this shot here, where she's running forward, and in the background, looming, still huge, is just his mouth and jaws, just his face, like a wall. Pretty fantastic. Fear keeping me in place. Midnight's still alive, right? Melted away. So this is what's really freaking them out, is that they've been told to sedate this gigantic enemy combatant, that they've been told they are the only option for knocking them unconscious. Oh, we're on page 5, by the way. When they have, at their school, a professional hero whose whole quirk revolves around making people go unconscious. So they're quite troubled by the idea that they've been tasked with this. What happened to Midnight? But it doesn't really matter right now. She's got to surge ahead. She's got to knock him unconscious. That's just a fact. Shortest road to mastery. Stopping to deal with... Oh, we're on page 6. Stopping to deal with gnats is too much of a detour. The wrong choice. Shortest route means keeping gnats from getting up again. Gigantomachia's kind of twisted, inhuman logic, thinking only in these very simple statements. You know, it's the kind of a cliche of the big dumb guy, but Gigantomachia has this kind of drive underneath that reflects, if not intelligence, then a certain type of kind of raw instinct that I think is quite intimidating. The shot here of his bloodshot eyes looking up at Mountain Lady is pretty good too. She stops short. Ooh, this is quite a good connection. I had forgotten about this. I thought this was like one of the neatest little storytelling details they chose to include. Way before we understood what Gigantomachia was, way before we saw him in action, we just were aware that there was this huge, monstrous, villainous entity that had something to do with the League of Villains, way out in the woods, and like what's his face, you know, Jet Boy, Gran Torino was out there investigating it. And we saw him walking around with the big radio on his neck and stuff. And we don't really know what to make of this thing. And while we only had that vague impression of it, we had this flashback of her name is Muna, right? Oh my gosh, I don't remember. I'm so sorry. There's so many characters. I don't remember her name. The flashback of her and Red Riot and kind of how they became friends and how they set down on this heroic path, encountering this same entity, right? And it was nice. It was subtle. It was like not really an explicit connection between these two entities, neither of which were taking a prominent role in the story right now. To think, oh, this guy from the flashback is the same guy that we heard about in the forest. But now, so much later, we are very much dealing with Gigantomachia as a very relevant part of the story. And just kind of as we've forgotten, just as it was slipping out of our memory, we return to this flashback, return to this pivotal moment in her life. Okay, she throws the canister, but it kind of flops out of her hand. It's not a good toss. And Gigantomachia buries himself into the earth, it looks like. They had mentioned this before, that Gigantomachia could just start going underground. I think it's like Gabby suggests that he knows he has this power to just like tunnel. Or we're on page 8, by the way. But they were like, how does that factor, how do we handle riding on his back if he does that? So I guess they're going to find out. He retreats into the earth. Oh, but then it's not, oh, he's not actually retreating. It's just to kind of burst forth again, tossing Mountain Lady aside. Okay, she's about to get squished in the hand, but who rushes in instead? We're on pages 10 and 11, by the way. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Why won't it work? Just update. Literally just update. Oh my gosh. So he's gonna hurt himself, right? This guy's hella spiky. you grab and squeeze as hard as you can. You're gonna end up with a severely punctured palm. I suppose he could run through the fire too. His rocky plating, so strong, so resilient. We saw already how it matches up against. Oh my gosh, we're not doing good for remembering names today. You know, one of the main character guys. One of the like literal just main characters of the show. Ouch. Fire and Ice Man. Todoroki. Right? Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, we saw already that it has extreme heat resilience, so it makes sense that he could run through Dabi's flames, given that he took the direct assault of flames from his classmate. I would like to see this as a good counterattack. Kind of like the critical hit in Legend of the Strongest Man Kurosawa, with the ant. He's trying to squish ants, and the one ant bites him back. That sort of critical hit could be achieved here. Really cool perspective shot too. Again, just like really building up this visual language of how huge Gigantomachia is with all these different perspective shots. Okay, Mountain Lady, not looking good. And he doesn't get grabbed after all. He manages to slip through the fingers too. I see. Oh, no. That's Tetsu, of course. I'm getting my turn into hard things guys mixed up. Tetsu grabs him, or grabs her. Kirishima in the palm. That punk, unlike me, he doesn't burn. It's probably still hot for him. He was faster than me. He dove right into that hell. I like that they became bros, you know, these two. After they met the first time and they're like, you're just ripping off my power. No, you're just ripping off my power. Just punched each other for a while in the sports tournament. Gigantomachia looking kind of like nonchalant. The League of Villains trying to stay in his palm as he readjusts his back. The Nats are down. It does look like the heroic forces have been pretty much annihilated, besides a few lucky few. We're on page 13, by the way. But out from his grip, who do we see? Shadow of the Colossusing it? Kirishima. Oh, man. No one behind me is gonna bleed. This is pretty badass, I gotta say. And again, as we talked about before, it's like they don't make the kids' powers irrelevant. Even though their kind of power level overall in this battle is so much lower than the pro heroes and the villains, they're allowing the kids' powers to excel in niches, in the specific situations where they would best function. So Kirishima is hard as a rock, man. Like, there's no getting around it. Even the forceful fists of Gigantomachia aren't enough to annihilate him. And here, his talon-like hands being able to climb Gigantomachia, like, it all makes sense. I don't know what he's going to be able to do when he gets up there. Climbing up on his shoulder, Gigantomachia seems less than impressed, but it's a badass scene regardless. Oh, he tosses the dose right up into his mouth, but Toga shatters it with a knife. Dose. Chivalrous spirit. Good hands. Oh, but he had another one. He caught Ashido's while he was rescuing her, while he was getting her out of the grip of Gigantomachia. He also caught her dose. He had two on him. The one missed, but the other one actually gets in there. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Let's see. A few shots from just straight up some tanks. They got artillery out here. Sometimes even the heroes need artillery. When he moves around, the faster the drug should work. Majestic. Okay. The lizard girl managing to grab Kirishima, lowering him down. I like that even in this one quick shot of this artillery division, you can see that they've like well staffed it. I'm not sure if Momo-chan was the one to produce these artillery tanks. That seems maybe too big for her scale, but you know, desperate times. But yeah, you can see what's his face here, Octopus Arms Man. We're really batting 1,000 on names this chapter, using the sensors, I think, on his body to help him aim. And then it looks like every artillery team has one like aiming person and then one like strongman to actually help physically relocate the cannon. It's just little touches like that, you know, that show that they're really taking care to think about how it would be for these operations to unfold with the characters they've defined. There's no need to gloss over these things when you can just show them as just little treats for the observant. I like it. High hopes for you, Momo, and you didn't disappoint. These trainees have done more than enough for one day. A squad of pro heroes moving in. It looks like they're moving on the rippling rings effects of you know, the girl in the big three, the One-san type, who attacks with those and uses them for all sorts of stuff. Is that how they're moving? I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure if she's there. It could be somebody else's power. So many gnats. It's over. Okay, so we cut from this battle entirely. Gigantomachia implied to be falling unconscious sometime soon. It looks like the kind of jaw plating he has around his jaw, like this rocky stuff, is falling off or something? I'm not quite sure what's going on here. But it's like a visor now. It's I don't know if it's like horse blinders. I don't know how it's supposed to help him. Anyways, we cut from this to another battle that has been going on the whole time of Endeavor, Eraserhead, and the boys, Deku and Bakugao, against Tomura Shigaraki. Gather up all the power you like, but without ideals, your hollow destruction will never bring us down. It's like an inferno. It seems like Endeavor was not messing around. And with Tomura's powers offline, Eraserhead never blinking, staring him down the entire fight. It does seem like a foregone conclusion, but I would be surprised if this arc ends with just Shigaraki being defeated. Because wouldn't that kind of be the end of the series as we know it? Instead, as I said, I think it'll fight to some sort of compromise stalemate, where both parties disengage, and we return to a tumultuous, unclear state of power. But right now, it kind of looks like Tomura got owned. I don't know. You heroes hurt your own families just to help complete strangers. Dad told me that. You want ideals? I have it. No, I had it. Okay, so now we kind of segue back into what could be perceived as an ideological debate or something. And these greater questions of heroism and, of course, the hurting your own families to help complete strangers cuts very deep into Endeavor's life. Remember, we had that little family drama arc, Dinner at the Endeavor Household, that I think the themes of which we could revisit even in this moment of extreme crisis and climax. All it'll take is for Eraserhead to break focus, and suddenly this entire battlefield will turn to dust. And I think there's an avenue here, there's an overlap, that if Eraserhead starts thinking about Kurogiri, about his foggy friend, and how Present Mike and him began their quest towards heroism, if there's any sort of place of faltering, if there's any area of self-doubt, this could be the chance that Tomura needs. Exciting chapter. We're whittled this arc down into these kind of two major battles after all of that chaos. As I said, I think the transition between the two was really well done, really profoundly showed just the depth of power of Gigantomachia and Tomura. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how they go about depicting this stuff. Like when we switch back and forth between battles, it looks like we're going to focus on Tomura a bit, maybe come back. Gigantomachia is already unconscious. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. See you next week. Good times. Bye-bye.